Let's do this! Hello, Ritchie.
Hello,
Hey,
Natalie.
how are you doing?
I'm all right. It's morning time. I'm working on cup number two of coffee,
Oh, nice. I
and
like that cup.
with Baby Yoda, and
Very
yeah,
nice.
so doing all right. It's a good morning, and I'm glad to be here with you, and glad to be here with everybody in the audience who's tuning in. And
Yes.
let us know that you're here. Send us a shout out. Hello, tell us where you're tuning in from, and we're looking forward to chatting with you.
Yes. Hello, William. Thank you so much for joining us today.
Hi,
It
William.
is wonderful to be here, and it is fantastic to start off with such a nice collection of images.
Oh, yes.
It's always such a special treat to see all those images, and I must say I think the collection of images we had this month is again really nice. I did enjoy looking through them a heck of a lot. And that just reminds me of something that happened last month. And that was
Hmm.
in the heat of the last preparations of the show. We had a few images slip into the slideshow that were not the recipe of the month, which last month was Eternal Bleach Bypass. But there were actually images for this slideshow. So we apologize for that. We have since changed the slideshow, so the one that is online is the right one. But just in case someone was tuning in from the beginning in the last show, there was a little bit of a gremlin there. Sorry about that.
You know, well, you've been dealing with the power issues and the load shedding and all that stuff, and
Yeah.
so your work weeks, your time that you can be productive has been shortened quite a bit when that
Yes.
happens, right?
Yes.
So yeah, so I hope everybody's understanding that sometimes when that happens, you just end up having to do things that are rushed, and then little things can slip through.
Yes, they can. We try our best. We have a really cool comment here. I have absolutely no idea what it says. Sorry, but it is. I assume it's Russian, but that's the best what I can make it out. Thank you so much, nonetheless, for being here with us. It's absolutely fabulous to have you here. And who else is joining us today? Kendra is here. Hi, Kendra. It's so nice to have you with us. It's fabulous. Yeah, it's fabulous to see familiar faces. Well,
Yes.
thumbnails and comments. Yeah, it's
You know,
really
it's
nice.
it's great. There's always the regulars, and then there's always new people, and it's such we try to have a good time here. And Stephen Wells is tuning in, so that's
Yes.
awesome.
Yeah,
Oh,
fantastic. Thank you so much for joining us. Yeah, we've been chatting. I've been chatting with a couple of you over the last couple of days, so thank you for tuning in. Carl as well. He's
mhm.
tuning in from Essen. Well, hallo Carl, danke fürs Einschalten. It's really nice to have you with us. I'm glad that so many of you can make it. Enrico as well, wonderful to have you here. We have a little bit of
Really,
a treat that we worked on in the main show. So, yeah, I'm really looking forward to that. That's going to be brilliant. Absolutely fabulous. But I think maybe we should get started with our special trivia question a bit early
oh yeah,
to have a little bit of time to get the answers in, that we don't have to rush it like we have been
yeah,
in the past. Should we do this? Are we
sure.
ready for our trivia question? Okay, it's
Let's
lying
do it.
here in front of me. I have not looked at it yet. So it will come up on the screen, and I'm going to read it out here. And the question is, as of 2021, the most liked photo on Instagram is of what object?
Oh,
Ooh, okay. I have a little
interesting.
bit of an idea, but obviously it's not for me to answer. this question. The question goes out to you. What do you guys think was the most liked photograph on Instagram? What object was it? So over to you guys. Put your thinking caps on. You don't need to Google it. And we will reveal the mystery a little bit later. Ritchie, what do you think? Do you have any idea what this could be?
Well, I'm going to guess a cat. I have no idea, but that's my guess.
Cool.
My guess is the most liked photo on Instagram is a cat.
Okay, cool. You like cats?
I don't have any pets right now. I'd probably prefer a dog over a cat. But
okay. Okay, good answer.
We have cat allergies. We have pet allergies in our house.
Oh dear. All right. Yeah. Shame.
But for those who are maybe tuning in for the first time, the trivia questions come from a game called the Photography Trivia Deck.
Yes.
And you can find this online and purchase it if you want. They're not sponsored. They don't sponsor a show or anything like that. But
not yet.
They should. They should. And
yes. Yeah. I stumbled across it by accident, and I thought it would be good fun. It's nothing too serious. And we have a guess here. That is a very smart guess, Enrico.
Oh, yeah.
A surgical mask. It could possibly be. It could be. Nice guess.
It very well could be.
I like that a lot. I didn't even think.
That's probably more likely than the cat guess.
Possible. Yes. Yeah. Interesting. Maybe like a Kim Kardashian with a mask or something. I don't know. Yeah. We'll see. Okay. Interesting. Yeah. Keep the guesses going.
Natalie?
Pardon?
What's your guess for it? What do you think?
Sorry, before I go there, I quickly wanted to also say how's it to Tosin. Thank you so much for tuning in. It is fabulous to have you and great to send a shout out to everybody else who's watching. I really do like that a lot. So my guess, maybe I'm in the wrong year, but there was some advert that was... I'm so glad Carl is putting the answer in there, because there was an advert that was around an egg. That was something around the Super Bowl. I think it was the Super Bowl last year, but I am not 100% sure. So I think with Carl, I think I agree with him on that one. So I'm glad I wasn't the first one to mention it. But do keep the guesses going and let us know in the comments what do you think, while we, have a bit more of a chat about other stuff that we've been up to. I know that Ritchie has been fighting leaf blowers in people making a lot of noise outside the window, just up until about 2 minutes before the show started. So I'm glad they finished just in time.
Yep. Yeah, there were some landscapers that were outside, and leaf blowers and hedge trimmers and all that stuff, and they finished literally as the slideshow of your guys' pictures were finishing up, and so just before the show started, they were all done, and the yard's looking nice, I guess. I haven't experienced it personally yet to know, but I'm assuming.
I'm sure we will see pictures of it soon enough.
Probably. Yeah, you guys have seen pictures. If you follow the Fuji X Weekly website, you've seen some pictures of the yard, but you probably just don't know it,
Yes, and I want to congratulate you on your beautiful backdrop, which I believe is your new office.
Yes.
So it looks like you've settled in.
The last episode where I was actually in my house was in April. So the May, the June, and the July one were all in Airbnbs and stuff as I traveled, did a really long road trip and everything. But now we've been in here, I think, around 3 weeks now in this house. So
Yeah,
this
we're
is the
just
office.
about to start unboxing boxes after the end of the last show, I think.
Yep.
Yes. Yeah. What a long journey.
It's been a really long journey. It was a long journey,
Yeah.
but it was great.
Yeah.
Hello, Thomas. Thanks for
Hi
tuning in
there.
from Germany.
Yes. Yeah, Germany is strong today. I like it.
Yeah.
That's
Your
very
home country.
cool. Yes. Yeah, nice and warm there as well, I believe. So that's really cool. And yes, here is the question. We are looking for an answer as to what is the most liked photo as of 2021. What is the object in that photograph? So if you have any idea, serious or not, it really doesn't matter. It's not a contest and there's no prize. It's just a bit of entertainment and lighthearted fun. So send us your guesses and let us know what you think.
The winner gets a new XH2S. No, just
yeah.
you would have
And
1,000 guesses.
lens. Yes.
Yeah.
Absolutely. Yeah. No, they even sometimes do this on the radio, and there are a lot of people who still phone in just for, a little bit of lighthearted, I don't know, short while on the way to the office in the mornings. So this is our way of doing that. As we say hello to Abe from Malaysia. Thank you so much for tuning in. If it is your first time here, let us know, or if you are a repeat customer, if you've been here before, we are happy to hear from you and love to connect with everyone from around the world. And speaking of connecting, there is Marlene. She is tuning in from Belgium. And what a nice introduction, because I was just about to tell you, Ritchie, that I have connected with someone who was originally from Belgium. And that is Björn Moorman, who has been contributing, and he's also been, tuning into previous shows regularly. He flies for a living. Shame, poor guy. So, and he was here.
His office window is nicer than yours, in mine.
Yeah, it definitely is. And it changes all the time.
Yep.
And it so happened that he was in Johannesburg recently, about 10 days ago, I think. And so we met up and had a bit of a chat. There's us. There's proof. That was us.
Very nice.
Yeah, it's taken with the phone. It's maybe a little bit close, but anyway. So it was really nice to meet up with, someone from the community and talk all about, Fujifilm and film simulations and all that good stuff. And I absolutely, love connecting. So if you're in the area or whatever it might be, please don't be shy to give us a shout out, because you never know. I
was going to say that's what this whole thing is about, is just community for Fujifilm photographers and those that are using recipes and stuff. And this is just a way for us to connect to you, this show, and we want to build this connection, build the community. Not that the community is us and we're the foundation of it or anything like that. We're just a part of it, like you are. So we're just trying to do our part that we can to build it up, to lift it up, to build these connections. And so it's something like this where you can meet up. That's really great, and I hope that happens a lot more often.
Yes, exactly. Because once we make connections, you never know what develops from there. Mm-hmm. And you can feed off each other, and everybody is a teacher and a student, so you never know what stories you tell have an effect on others. So I really, really enjoyed that, and it so happens that Björn is also a fellow ex-photographer from Dubai, and he is a prolific street photographer. And so check out his Instagram, Björn Moorman. He posts a lot and a lot of wonderful photographs. So if you feel like you want a little bit of inspiration on street photography, he's definitely got some wonderful work out there to check out. So thank you, Björn, for traveling all that way here to come and meet up. It was really cool.
So for all those watching, jump over there to Instagram right now and give him a follow, and then come right back.
Exactly. So there's a little bit of a longer comment from Thomas. He says he's come back from 2 days working in Würzburg, and he's found himself a new favorite film simulation.
The Dramatic Classic Chrome.
Dramatic Classic Chrome. Okay, fantastic. Yeah. Well, do share some images and tag us so that we can see what you've done. We'd love to know.
I got some really good results with that film simulation recipe in Park City, Utah, and in South Dakota. Yeah, so yeah, it's a good one. It's a good one for travel and everything. Yeah.
Yeah. Yes. So if you do shoot with something and you want to share it, just, when you post it on Instagram or Facebook, just tag us so we can, have a look. That's, in general, a really good idea. And then, we can see what you've come up to. I'm glad you like it. And there's Dan, who is saying hello from Cape Cod. Very nice.
Hello, Dan.
Very nice to see you here. Cape Cod is also really beautiful, I believe. Maybe one day I will be able to see that too.
Fujifilm USA actually shared one of Dan's pictures very recently on their Instagram page.
All right.
Yeah.
Way to go, Dan. Very nice.
Yeah.
I will check it out. I will definitely have a look-see. So, yeah, there we go. That's Stanley saying hello from behind the scenes. He has a way of making himself heard one way or another.
Yeah, he needs to come out in front of the camera.
I tell him all the time. So yeah, maybe he's cooking up something. Who knows?
Yep.
But do we have any more guesses about our most liked Instagram picture? What do we think is the object that is most liked? No, I need to rephrase that. What is the object in the most liked Instagram picture in 2021? Is it an egg or is it something else? Is it something else? Have you heard of this? What was it? A marketing stint of the last year before the what was it?
Yeah, I don't know. I wish I was more trendy.
That's fine. I remember that Stanley told me about it. I would have not known otherwise either. But let's lift.
It wasn't salami, I can tell you that.
No, it was not salami. And indeed, Carl is right. It was an egg. It was an egg, and so it was the Super Bowl campaign. There, my words are coming back. That was launched. Apparently very successfully. And I think all they posted was an egg.
Okay.
Yeah.
Well, there you have it. I guess I'll have to look it up because I don't remember.
So next time you run out of ideas of what to post, it doesn't have to be that hard. Oh, excellent. Guys, if you have any questions at any time, anywhere, please don't be shy. Send them our way. While we're during the main show, you can just send a comment with a Q in the front so that we know it's a question that you would like an answer to. But I will also explain that again in the main show. But yeah, questions are great. This is a good opportunity to get them answered. Stephen said Beyonce. Well, that is a really good second guess. I'm sure she is not far behind. And Matt is here as well. Hi, Matt. Yeah, the Kardashians. I'm surprised actually that they fell short.
The egg beat them out. Yeah.
Yeah, I'm sure they couldn't have taken that so lightly. But anyway. Good guesses all around. Thank you so much for playing with us and having a little bit of fun. And Thomas is asking where to find your Facebook site. On Facebook.
Yeah, so mine is just Fuji X Weekly. So if you just type that in, it should come up.
Yes. And mine is my name, so my profile is my name, and then my page is Natalie Bukri Photography. So that should also be very easy to find. Thank you for asking. It would be great to connect here, there, everywhere. Let's just, connect, invite friends, tell them about it. The more, the merrier. We would love to, grow this community and learn from one another and see what you come up with when shooting Fujifilm and shooting straight out of camera and shooting with film simulation recipes.
And also, just to say it again one more time, ask questions. Ask questions. We want to answer them. That's why we're here. So anything related to Fujifilm, to cameras, photography, film simulation recipes, anything that you've been wanting to know, let us know and we'll try and get that answer to you.
Yes, because you are surely not the only one who has that question. And a lot of people can learn from what you might be wondering about. So don't hold back. And but the timer has gone and we need to get ready for the main show. So Ritchie, it's time for us to say a quick goodbye and goodbye to the audience. And we will come back in the main show just now. Thank you so much for tuning in and we'll see you shortly. Don't go anywhere.
Let's do this!
Hello everyone and welcome to another episode of SOOC, where we do everything and anything related to shooting straight out of camera and talking about all things Fujifilm and film simulation recipes, because we want to make shooting JPEG straight out of camera easy and fun for you, and want you to get great results straight out of your camera. How are you all doing today? It's so wonderful to be here again. The months just zoom past, and it feels like I was just here yesterday. But it is wonderful to be back, so I didn't have to wait long at least. And I am hoping that you are as excited as I am for another episode and some good conversation. I hope you have lots of questions and comments lined up to ask us all about. If you are tuning in for the first time and you have no idea what I'm talking about, then let me tell you, it's wonderful to have you. And we are here. It is me and my co-host who will come on just now. He was here in the pre-show, and we go live once a month to talk about a specific recipe from Fuji X Weekly, and we introduce a new recipe every month and ask you to shoot with it for the coming weeks, and then upload your results so that we can look at them in the next show. Also, at the end of the show, we give away a 12-month subscription to the Fuji X Weekly app. If you submit at least one image, your name automatically enters the draw. So if you're here, stay with us until the end of the show and see if you won something. But let me move on right ahead, and let's get the man of Fuji X Weekly, Ritchie Roesch, right in here with me so that we can chat a bit more. Hi, Ritchie.
Hello.
How are you doing?
I'm all right. How you doing, Natalie?
Yeah, I'm all good. It's so good to be back. Nice to have you here.
It's good to see everybody out there in the audience. You know, we got quite a few tuning in, and repeat watchers. You know, participating, new faces and everything else. So it's really good.
Yes, it's absolutely fantastic. Like I was just saying, it's always so nice to see people, you know, tuning in month after month. So it's really great. We absolutely love your support, and it is wonderful that you keep coming back and make time to join us online. And if you're new, it's absolutely phenomenal to have you with us. Give us a comment and let us know where you're tuning in from, if you're here for the first time, or if you know, maybe will remember your name and we've seen you before. So don't be shy. Let's get those comments going. We're here for you to ask questions, so please don't be shy, don't hold back. You know, we're just talking about it in the pre-show for everyone who's been there with us as well. We want you to send us questions so that we can discuss, you know, a good old question, have some juicy conversations about everything and anything, you know, photography related. And yeah, let's get this conversation started.
I have a question for the audience.
Oh.
What film simulation recipe would you like us to do in a future episode? What would you like the recipe of the month to be, you know, maybe a few episodes down the line?
You're handing over the reins, Ritchie.
Yeah. Well, I mean, we'll see. We'll see what responses we get.
Yes.
But I'm very curious what you guys would like to shoot with. You know, what would your recipe of the month be if you could pick?
Yes, that is a very good idea. We obviously, you know, we give out suggestions to, you know, make it easier and to get you, you know, eased into the world of film simulation recipes. There are over 200 now, Ritchie. Have you got a latest?
Yeah, almost 250. Yeah.
So on the blog, there are almost 250 recipes. Oh, there's Björn tuning in. Oh, so you made it. You are not really late. Thank you so much for tuning in. It's great to have you with us. We are just getting started here. And we're talking about, you know, the many wonderful recipes that everyone can find on Ritchie's blog, but also on the in the app. And because it can be a little bit overwhelming if you first start, we, select some recipes to get you going. But if you have any wishes, any recipes that you would love to shoot with and that you think would be, a good recipes for other to participate, then let us know, and then we'll see what we can do. So there was a comment from Torsten. Sorry, I was too slow. Kendra saying Portra 400 version 2 is my fave. That is a very good one. Well, we are moving in that kind of a direction soon. So don't go anywhere. And so I can see there is no shortage of, ideas out there. So bring them, just keep them coming, and we will, see what we can do. All right.
We got a couple of try suggestions. We actually did that one earlier this year. That was a good episode. So you gotta.
We absolutely did. We kicked off with that right in the beginning of the year. Go back and watch that episode if you haven't yet. We haven't
definitely
really
a favorite film simulation recipe of mine.
Absolutely, yes, yeah, definitely an absolutely phenomenal black and white. We are looking into different Agfa recipes. Yes, yeah, coming up. But please send us comments, and we'll have a look, see what we can do, and then we will take it from there. But I think we can jump right into the next section, because we have a couple of news that we would like to discuss. And there is something that we stumbled across, very, very recently. And that was like the day before yesterday. And before, I'm almost jumping the gun here, sorry. Before I do though, we have our 10 years of X-Mount. So I think this episode is a bit of a nice celebration of this. We present the new theme of the month that Fuji Global brings out to celebrate their 10 years of X-Mount. And we have a theme this month, which is extreme photography, which they want to see your images that you've either taken in the ice and snow, or in extreme heat, in the dust, or what have you, something extreme, that challenged your camera quite a bit. So this is what they want you to post this month on social media. And, we encourage you to participate in that. But we've taken this a bit further, and if you've been with us here for the last couple of episodes, you've seen that we were calling for like your first images, your first wow or yes experience that you've had with your first or earlier Fujifilm camera. Like Ritchie, for example. I believe this was one of your first images that made some waves, which I can imagine, because this is fantastic. Please do share with us a little bit of the background that goes with this image.
Yeah, so this was on a Fujifilm X-E1, and this is before I was making film simulation recipes and shooting JPEGs and stuff. But this was just a couple weeks after I got the camera, and I knew I liked the idea of Fujifilm and the retro dials and all that kind of stuff. But I didn't, this was the first picture that made me know that this was going to be a good match, for me. The quality, image quality, and that kind of stuff. Like I was really gonna like it, not just for the dials, but for everything.
The colors are really spectacular. I believe this image also made it into some magazine.
It made it into a Atlas Obscura article. Yeah.
Yes, very nice. Yeah, I understand. I love these colors. They just really jump at you. So this was really the idea that we had behind this. I had a very different kind of an experience because, like so many of you, I was looking for a smaller camera system that I can carry around with easier, firstly for my personal photography, which clearly this is very much so. And the reason why I chose this image was, it was one of amongst the first 10 images I think I ever took with my X100S when I got it in 2013. And it was so easy for me to take a photograph like that, just, you know, just to be able to see the image that you take from a different vantage point. And apart from the fact that I was super proud that I planted and grew a tomato plant. But for me, that was a really great moment. It was super easy. And so we thought it would be a cool exercise to just ask you guys to also show us what kind of moments you had in your journey with Fujifilm. And, you know, that we celebrate the 10 years of X-Mount a little bit different to what Fujifilm globally is celebrating this. So maybe Fujifilm is watching and they can, you know, see all the wonderful testimonies that have been shared with us, so that we've prepared for you. And we thought we'll go and have a look at submissions that we've received over the last couple of months and what you say to your images and why you think you are so very happy with your Fujifilm cameras. So we've received this photograph from Annabeth, who enjoys shooting with her X-T3. So she said that she always has fun playing with Fujifilm's, with Ritchie's film simulation recipes. And she shot this image with Eterna and her X-T3 out of her window in the Netherlands. And I think, you know, the colors are really nice, and you know, it just goes to show how easy it can be to take some really interesting images. Mm-hmm. So thank you, Annabeth, for you know, submitting your images with us and for that little bit of background information. If you are online and tuning in, you're more than welcome to let us know so we can have a bit more of a chat. I know that Annabeth is not able to tune in with us live today, but as we've just seen, Björn is here and he submitted this image, which is, you know, quite a striking portrait, isn't it, Ritchie?
Yeah, and I like the story that he shared with us about it. He was in the market for a new camera, and in 2013, he was able to borrow a X Pro 1, I believe is what it was.
Yeah.
When that was brand new, and he was able to use it and capture this striking, you know, image of his wife. And when he returned back, he went and pre-ordered what was then the new Fujifilm X-E1. If I have the story, if I remember the story correctly. Yeah. And it really helped him in the advancement of his photography. And it wasn't that long later that he became a Fujifilm X photographer. Yes. So it's really interesting how those steps, one leads to another and leads to more opportunities and that kind of stuff.
Yeah, I don't think it's his wife. I think it's a friend's wife, but you know, be that as it may. Striking red hair, blue eyes, and a really stunning portrait, and very nice stories. Thank you very much for sharing that with us. Then we had this submission by Caroline. She, I don't think, is online with us, and as mysterious as the scene is, we don't know exactly what motivated her to submit this image, but you know, I can understand that after capturing a scene like this, you would be sold on the system.
Yeah. It reminds me of the Pink Floyd album, A Momentary Lapse of Reason. The album artwork. In that one, it's hospital beds on the beach, but it kind of has a similar kind of vibe to it.
Yes. Yeah. Yeah. You're giving away your age away there, Ritchie.
Yes, I am.
Yeah, I dig
Probably half
the
the people
vibe
watching
and the
have
picture.
no idea what I'm talking about.
Oh well, that's fine. It's just a number.
Yeah.
And this is an image by David Hanley. He was actually live with us last month, and he shared a little bit about, why this image was, kind of like a turning point for him after he'd been shooting with Fujifilm. If you don't know what he said, you better go and watch that episode last month.
Yep.
And check it out. He shared a really nice, interesting story. And also this image is from David Horn. It's really beautifully colorful. Ritchie, what do you think this is shot with? What recipe?
My initial thought is it's Astia is what it looks like to me.
Yeah.
It's hard to know exactly, but that's what it kind of reminds me of, is Astia.
Yeah. Well, whatever it is, it's really pretty, and it really showcases Fujifilm colors beautifully.
Oh, okay. Well, somebody knows what I'm talking about as far as.
That's great. And then we have an image that Enrico sent us, and I think he's with us as well. It's a bit of a story that maybe Ritchie remembers, or
Yep.
yeah.
So he, I didn't know the full story at the time, but Enrico was asking. He's going to have these cars going around his city, and he wanted to know what recipe to use to capture them with, and I had suggested Kodachrome 64 to him, and that's what he used, and the picture came out wonderfully.
Yeah, I was joking with Ritchie, saying that it's such an unlike thing to say, or recipe to suggest. Obviously, I'm joking, but it's a beautiful. It's a beautiful recipe. So if in doubt, go Kodachrome 64.
Go Kodachrome, yeah. Work for Enrico.
Yes, yeah. Thank you for that image and the story behind it. That's very cool. And then we have this really awesome image by Ivan. And maybe he is with us live as well. I am not 100% sure. But I had to translate this name into English writing. Thank you, Google. So I hope this is all correct. I think it's a very striking image, and very love those colors. And
the blue sky is really good in there. Yeah.
I can understand that this is an image that will make you fall in love with Fujifilm.
Mm-hmm.
So if you have tuned in, please let us know. Like Carl, for example, who in the pre-show got our trivia question right.
Yes.
Yes. So I don't know if we haven't had a round of applause for him, I don't think, which, we get Thank you. A little bit very delayed, but anyway. He submitted this image, and he shared a lovely story with us as well, because it was amongst his first images that he shot. when he not only went on a holiday for the first time with the XT2, but also tested the weather sealing because, well, you're going to the Lake District in winter. What do you expect? Carl, it's a great pleasure. And yeah, so he had a wonderful holiday with dismal weather. And this is, during one of the evenings where he came across this scene and was prompted to take this beautiful image. And the rest is history. A very, very nice picture indeed. I love it. And yeah, thank you for sharing that story with us.
Yeah, it looks like the sky cleared just in time.
Yes. And I think here's an image that is maybe been captured close to where you are now, Ritchie. Is that possible?
It is possible. I'm not sure exactly where that is, but it does look like the Southwest United States, maybe Utah or Arizona.
Yes.
But it's a cool place. I want to go there, wherever it is. Matt, if you're watching, let us know where that is.
Yes, I think he is online.
Looks like an interesting place.
So I'm not sure in the story. I don't think he mentions exactly where this picture was taken, but he does share his story with us. So he was also looking for lightening his load, switching systems, and he only, then came across film simulations. I think, this is a route that a lot of us went, that we first go, with a new kid on the block for one reason, and then stumble across this beautiful world of film simulation recipes. So Matt, if you can let us know where this is.
Where it is.
It is.
Oh, Kanab. Okay.
Okay.
Yeah,
I have not heard of it.
Kanab is an interesting place. Yeah.
Okay. Well,
yeah, very southern Utah, probably about the center of the state.
Okay.
But on the very almost to Arizona.
Okay.
There's interesting caves and stuff in that area. So yeah, I can see where that might be. Okay.
Well, it's a stunning image. Thank you so much for sharing.
Yes.
And thank you for sharing your story with us. It's a very captivating image indeed. Very nice. But this is not everything. We also got an image that Robert sent us. We have, I think, shared this before. This image, with all its mood and
the mysteriousness.
Yes, exactly. Robert said that this was the first time he actually shot with the film simulation recipe that, really left a lasting impression. And he still thinks that, this was his, I translated as in like this was his wow moment when using recipes, which is, compliments to you, Ritchie, for making so many people so happy with the images that they take. Beautiful result and a really nice image indeed. And then we have Stephen's submission. Stephen is also here. See, all the people are here today to tune in. This is really cool. Thank you, guys. This is awesome.
It is cool.
Yes, it's really nice to look at your images, and because you've commented before, we know that you're there, unless you've fallen off. So, this is a very, very cool image indeed. Stephen shared in his story that he thinks it's not necessarily anything special photographically about this image, but he posted it and he tested with viewers whether they thought this was shot on film or digital. Stephen does shoot film in general as well, so this was, I think, for him, he started to see whether, digital would hold up, and he got a 50-50 response. So that's quite interesting. And needless to say, this was shot in Tri-X. So
A
yeah,
very good recipe.
yes, yeah. Don't we all love ourselves a good Tri-X?
Yeah.
So this is also very interesting, a very different approach. And yeah, I think he needs to shoot a lot more with Fujifilm now and less film because it's just so good.
Well, and it's not to get sidetracked, but it's just so much more convenient to be able to shoot film simulation recipes and stuff, and then to get a look that is at least close enough to a film aesthetic that people can actually think maybe it is film.
Yes.
You don't have to go through the hassle of I love film. I shot film for many many years, and I'm glad that I don't shoot that much film anymore.
Yes. Yeah. So whether you want whether you're hunting that film look or whether you just want a good looking JPEG straight out of camera, whatever it might be, it is definitely a good way to go. And the same can be said for an image that Torsten shared with us, who is also online. And he sent us this image, and he said that it was one of the first ones he produced out of his new Fujifilm camera after he had to and wanted to jump ship because his previous camera manufacturer left him stranded, I guess. And for him, it was the colors and the mood in the images that were so very easily and readily available. And yeah, this image definitely has a wonderful mood to it, and the colors are definitely, there to convince you. So a very good image indeed. Steven says that film prices are not helping.
Yeah.
Absolutely, yes.
And it's not just the film prices, but if you develop it yourself, it's the chemistry, or if you're taking it to a lab, those prices are up, and the scanning, and by the time you get done with it, it's a lot of money
It's a
per
lot
frame.
of money. Yes. Look, when I used to shoot film, it was part of my pocket money that I, put aside. I shot mostly on holidays. So when I went on holiday, I knew I had to not only, put money, save up for, general spending money, but also when I got home, developing and printing and albums and whatnot was part of it. It's just not something that we still do. So we think because images are so readily available for free, we think, they should be. And this may or may not be right or just a sign of new times, but I still feel very strongly that we should, invest a lot more in printing images one way or another, because that's, in the end, for me, that's, when an image really is at its final destination. But anyway, that's just me. But speaking of more images, there is one more image that William sent us, and that is his submission. He said that he was really chuffed that he'd seen images like this shot by other people, but he himself hadn't created an image like this. And when he then finally did, he was super excited to have that one in the bag. I'm paraphrasing, but I think this is kind of like what he shared with us. And
when you see somebody else do something, and then you're like, wow, that's super cool, and you want to do it yourself, and then when you finally are able to do it and succeed at it, and that's a special moment, I think.
Yes, it absolutely is, and it totally deserves a foghorn, a-horn sound effect. Fantastic. I absolutely love that. Very cool. And we are moving along swiftly. I think we are a bit behind schedule
I think so.
So moving along, before we go there, please can I just quickly say, in case you haven't, if you're watching and you're like, what on earth happened? I didn't know that this is what you're going to do with these images. And if I knew it, I wish I'd submitted an image. Don't worry, we're carrying on with this. We are going to have another one of those sessions at the end of the year in our last episode. So if you have some 10 years of X-Mount moments that you want to share with us, please do so. You can use the normal upload link for your images. Just, put in the name of the image, in the file name, the hashtag 10 years of X-Mount, then we know this is your submission for that session. And we will save them up until the December episode, and we'll do this again.
Yep. I look forward to it.
Yes.
It was fun. It was fun to do it. It was fun to see all those early images and the stories, hear the stories behind them and everything. That was really cool.
Yes. I hope you liked it too. So thanks again to everyone for submitting your images and for going the extra mile and sharing your stories with us. But now that we've spilled the beans about this, you may have seen it already. That was the announcement that came through and caught me by surprise yesterday. And that is, there is an X Summit that is happening in September. And not only is it happening in September, but it is happening on the 8th of September. And guess what? That is the second Thursday of September, which is SOOC Thursday, obviously. Yep. And yes, so like Ritchie and I joked about this yesterday as we were preparing for the show. We were saying that, we are the pre-show to the X Summit because it starts exactly when we will be finishing. So that's something to look forward to. So the speculations and rumors, I think, are already hot and, what are you thinking? What are you expecting? Did you know about this? Have you seen this online already that it's being announced? And what are you wishing Fujifilm announces? What are you hoping for? What are you waiting for? What is it that you would like to see? Tell us in the comments if there's anything that you would like Fujifilm to announce. What would you like Fujifilm to announce, Ritchie?
Oh, I think I know what they're going to announce, but an X80. That's what I would like to see them announce. A follow up to the X70. That would be
an X80.
Yeah, I think that's what they should announce. That's what I'm crossing my fingers for, but I don't think it is. But if I could choose anything, that's what I would choose.
Okay. Enrico wants an XT5. Yeah. And Thomas too.
Could be.
I can. Yeah, me too. And an X Pro 4 also. Also a good one. Yeah, could be. Well, we will see. The 35 f2.
Okay. But the version 2, an updated version.
Yes,
of it.
Yeah. I think that's what he means, yeah.
You never know.
And together with the XT5, then an XT4 on a discount. Yeah. I like the way you think, Randy. That would be awesome. Well, yeah. So we will see what happens, and we will, keep up with the rumors, or rather with the developments. Firmware updates would also be really cool, Stephen. Absolutely.
Yeah, I think so. That's what it should be.
Yeah. And a different XH2S.
Something less expensive than the XH2S. I think it will be, whatever it is.
Yeah, that would be cool. More XC lenses. Also a good one, yeah. Look, it's not like we can tell Fujifilm anything. It's just like you.
I mean,
waiting to see.
We can tell them, but they won't listen. That's a whole different story.
Yeah, absolutely.
Oh, that's a
Oh,
great suggestion right there.
yeah. Torsten is a man of your liking, Ritchie and
Yes.
X-Chrome monochrome. Yeah. So there's plenty.
I would drop money today on that. I can tell you that.
Yeah, firmware updates with new film simulations would be really, really cool. I agree
Yeah,
with
they should
everyone.
absolutely do that.
Yeah. Well, we'll see what happens. I don't know how much new stuff is going to come, or if it's just, the second XH2. We will see.
Yep.
But oh well, it is something to
Yep.
keep an eye out. Anyway, I
Something
just
for us to
wanted
talk
to
about too.
exactly. It is, but we have a lot more exciting news that we want to share with you,
Yay!
and that is there is an update on the Ritchie Cam. The Ritchie
Yep.
Cam app obviously Ritchie's camera app that he's developed.
For the iPhone.
That is for the iPhone, and that
Yep.
received some really cool new updates. And I think I shouldn't be the one telling everyone, but maybe Ritchie, do you want to enlighten the audience as to what you've done?
Sure. Yeah. So the app has been out since I forget what it's been out since this year, and always working to improve it, add new features and stuff. So we were able to add onto it the X-Pan film, or the ratio for that, the really wide or tall, in the case of the example on the right that you see there, aspect ratio, where you can do panoramic pictures with Ritchie Cam with that X-Pan ratio. And then another cool update is when the phone is pointed straight down, parallel to the ground, and you're doing like product photography or that kind of thing. It has a gyroscope activates, and it automatically activates, and you'll get two pluses, a yellow and a white. And when the white plus and the yellow plus align, the white plus will disappear, and you'll just have the yellow plus to indicate that it is level. And so you don't have weird, just slightly off level pictures anymore.
Yes, and we can demonstrate that live to everyone just now, in case you can't quite picture what that looks like. But I guess it's for all everyone who likes a good lay flat, and we all know how difficult it is to get our verticals, horizontals, and whatever lines straight. So I do have my phone here. This is what you're looking at in the middle, and I've just got these prints here in front of me just to give you an idea. So you can see here clearly that the crosshairs are not aligned when you're holding the phone at an angle, which is what I do. But then it helps you, and you can adjust. And then once you're straight over the image, you can just see one yellow crosshair. And that means that you are 100% straight, and then you can take the photograph. And then there are no more bent lines and angles.
I know
which
that
is really nice.
I always think I'm straight. Yeah. I know I always think I'm straight, and then when I actually use it, and it's not even close.
Yes. And it's particularly
so that tool's
difficult
been
with the
helpful to me
phone.
personally.
Yes, it's particularly difficult with the phone, I find, because it's so much easier to get, or it moves so much easier rather than a camera, because I guess it's beefier and bulkier. It gives you a bit more stability. But yeah, I think this is
there's
a
one
really
more
nice,
thing.
addition and a feature to it. And I know you really want to show off this really, really cool new update that you've added as well, which we can also show you live. So it's not only the X-Pan ratio, which is also very cool and gives a nice addition to really experiment with your photographs even more. But what we really want to show you, and I hope it will show here, is what Ritchie has done is that all the different, you don't call them film simulations here, you call them filters, right?
Filters.
And
Yeah.
and you can change them just by swiping across the screen. So that's really cool. And the way this looks is when you just put your finger across, you can just go through, I'm just swiping my finger here across the screen, and you can see in the top, it shows you what the name of the filter is, and it gives you a preview. So if you're not sure what filter will be best for the scene that you're looking at, you can just do this, and you can just slide your finger across and see what you like, and then choose the filter according to that. So I think that is really cool.
Yep.
Very well
Yeah,
done.
so hopefully that's like a quicker way to get to the filter you want, or to preview. If you don't know what you want, to preview the different ones to see what you might want to choose. And hopefully that makes it a lot easier for people just to use it. And it works if you're a subscriber, it works if you're not a subscriber, either way. So yeah, I hope this is a useful tool. Of the three, I think this is probably the one that'll be used the most by everybody. And it turned out really cool. I really like how this new feature works and looks and everything. So I'm excited about it, and I hope you guys are too.
Yes, thank you very much, Ritchie. It is really cool. I like it a lot.
Oh, thank you, Natalie.
At first, I wasn't quite sure what it is, but the moment you actually do it properly and you slowly swipe across the screen, it gives you all the options, and it's super quick and super fast. And so thank you. That is definitely a really cool update. I think it's time to move on to our tip of the day. Mm-hmm. We always try to share something useful with you that you can take into your everyday photography to make it easier, quicker, maybe a little bit better to work with your Fujifilm gear. And today we thought we were going to share something maybe slightly different because what we've picked up is when you guys submit a lot of images with us, and you have over quite some time. And when we look at them in order to sort them and get them ready for the slideshow, we see that not many images have any EXIF information in them, in particular the copyright information. So we want to make sure that you keep your images safe, and you get that EXIF in there that is necessary so that nobody can steal your pictures. So we quickly want to run through and show you how that's done in camera, so that, even when you share your images quickly on the fly through the phone, you don't need to worry about, protecting your image. You will, let everybody know that this is your photograph.
Yeah, it's something I recommend doing. I do that when I get a camera. When I initially set it up, I will do this. I had taken, during my move, I had taken the batteries out of some of the cameras and stored them away. And then when I turned them back on, it was like restarting fresh from the factory. And so I just realized, as we were doing the show prep, that those cameras didn't have this information in there. So it was also a good reminder to me. So I hope it's a good reminder to you to do this.
Yes. So in order to do that, we are going to have a look here. I've got the X-T3 here set up, and I want to, us to talk through the setup, where to find it, so that you can easily follow the steps. So we've done this before. So I think in good old fashion, should we go through, Ritchie, do you want to talk me through how to get there? And then, I'll do the work here with my fingers on this camera.
Okay, well, I'll try. I know it's in the wrench menu.
Yes,
So
it
you
is.
hit menu, and then you go to the wrench, and then it's under. Is it save? No, is it a save data setup?
Yes,
Trying
it
to remember.
is.
Yeah, save data setup.
Yes, it is. So you just navigate
And then
in here.
And it's copyright info down at the bottom.
Correct. And I have deleted my copyright information so that I can show you and enter it. So there's two parts to it. The first is your name. So you can just type it quickly. So let me do that. Oh, and you shouldn't misspell. Okay, so I'm quickly going to do this. I always do the whole thing with caps and small letters, just because, I'm a stickler for those kinds of things. So I enter my full name, which is, not like it's a secret to anyone. And then you even have a space. And then you can write in caps, and you can write small, and you even have funky signs that you can add. And then, sorry, I'm going too fast and the image is a little bit laggy, so this is why I'm going up and down. And then I'm going here, and I am putting in my full name, and no more typos. There we go. And then once you've written your name, you just press the set button, and then it takes you back.
Yeah, don't hit the back button.
No.
Because in the Q menu, a lot of the things you hit the back button to save, but in this you hit the back button and it erases it. So.
Yes, exactly. So you first need to save it before you can go out. And there's two parts to the copyright information. So it's not only your name, but you also, underneath, you have copyright info that you can add as well. So that is different copyright standards that, are used across the world. And Ritchie and I, we were discussing this earlier, and he says he just... you say you just put your name in here as well, yeah. Which is obviously totally fine. I always put in here all rights reserved, which means, don't touch. No matter what you want to do with my image, no, you can't. It's my images, and if you want to use it, you can contact me. And in order to do that, I, add information with my details in Lightroom as well.
Yeah, you could put in like your email address or something like that if you wanted to. Yes.
Correct. So that's what I do. That's obviously up to you, but I just wanted to make sure that that this exists, and you can enter that. And hold on a second. I have a typo there, but I thought, let me go first here. I'm pretending that I'm good at multitasking, which I really am not.
They say it's actually not possible to multitask. Like, you can do several tasks, but when you do one, you have to set the other one aside in your brain. The idea of multitasking is actually a myth.
Yeah, you see, now I'm listening to you and my brain is like, yeah, that is true. And there's the wrong letter. Sorry, I'm trying to go fast because I'm sure there's more exciting things to observe than me typing here, but I'm almost done. Reserved E and D, and then we are done. And then we set, obviously without the typo, but just in order to move along. And that's really it. That's all you need to do. And then all your images will have this information in the EXIF. And if you ever want to check what information you've saved, you can just go into your display copyright information. And that's it.
Yep.
So if
there you
do, there you have it. If you do nothing else, but please put the copyright information in. We don't want other people to, get away with using your images.
Mm-hmm.
So
I'm sure we all have stories of that.
Yes. Yeah, exactly. So we hope you found this information useful. If there's any other info, anything that you're struggling with your Fujifilm camera, please let us know so we can, put it into a tip in the future.
Mm-hmm.
And if there is no other questions from the audience regarding this, thank you, Björn. Yeah, clearly women cannot multitask. So you can clearly see where I was listening and when I wasn't listening when I was typing. So yeah, I feel much better now. Usman is asking where people see the copyright info. So if you look in the information on your computer or anywhere, it will actually show you,
in the EXIF.
It's called the EXIF. That's where people also see, what camera this image was taken with, etc., etc. Which brings me to another question that I wanted to shoot into the audience. So when you fill in all this information and together with all the other EXIF that we can see when you submit your images, we were wondering if you would find it useful if when we share the viewers' images, like we did at the beginning of the show, if you would be interested to see what camera and lens that image was shot with, and if we should also put that, together with the name on the picture in the slideshow. So you can let us know, and then we can see, how we can maybe add that in future if you think that would be useful.
Yeah, that sounds interesting.
Yeah, just something we were thinking about, speaking of EXIF and all. But anyway, we can move along swiftly to what soon quickly becomes my favorite part of the show. And that is recipes for special occasions. And today, inspired by Ritchie's X-Pan format and film and all those other goodies, we thought we are going to look a little bit more closely at the recipes and find a few and suggest a few to you that really give you that awesome special film look that so many of us look for. So yeah, and we have chosen 3, as always, that we think are a really good fit.
And just because we have these 3 doesn't mean there aren't more. There's tons and tons more that might give you a film look, but these are just the 3 that we wanted to suggest for you to try.
Yes, exactly. That's something to start off with. If you are stuck for ideas, you can definitely go with those. If you want, why don't you take a screenshot just now? Then you have a mental note. You can also add those in notes in the app directly, so that, the next time you're looking for that film look, these are some that we suggest. And we always try to suggest something for all the different sensors that, no matter what camera you shoot with, you will have something that you can try. I love all of them. So yeah, there's no shortage. But Ritchie, can we just quickly run through them? So the first
Sure.
one that we're looking at is Agfachrome RS100, and that
Hmm.
is for your latest X-Trans 4 sensors.
Yeah, X Pro 3 or newer can use this recipe because it requires classic negative, which those are the only cameras that have it. And yeah, I really like the way this one turned out and the way it looks, and it does have an analog feel to it when you look at the pictures.
Yes, you must have a look at all the sample images either on the app or in the blog to get
Mhm.
an idea as to the results that you're getting. It's definitely worth a try if you are shooting on one of those newer cameras. And if you
Mhm.
don't, maybe you want to try something like negative print.
Yep. So if you have, like, for example, an XT3 and XT30, that this is a good recipe for that. I believe you can also use it on X-Trans 3 cameras if I remember correctly. But
Yes.
but yeah, it's got a really nice analog aesthetic to it as well. Definitely different than the Agfachrome one. Um, yeah, I guess it uses the negative print uses Eterna, if I'm not mistaken. So I think
Yes.
that yeah, so that's right. So the XH1, the XT3, and the XT30 are kind of who that recipe is geared towards.
Yes, and then we also have something called Vintage Kodachrome, which is
Yes.
another great one. I
Yeah,
mean,
so
it's got
this was one of my first recipes, not the very first, but an early one, and it was the first one where I was trying to mimic a certain aesthetic. So it was the kind of the first era of Kodachrome, the really early Kodachrome look, and yeah, it's pretty cool. Even though it's one of the older recipes, it's still a favorite. A lot of you guys use it. I use it sometimes still, and yeah, if you have an X-Trans 3 camera, you can use it on an X-Trans 4 as well. It's a fun recipe to try.
yes. So I think they all give really good results.
Hmm.
I don't know if any of the viewers have been shooting with it. If anyone has experience shooting it, or if you were looking for recipes with a film look, maybe you can you know let us know in the comments, or if there is a completely different look that you're after, that you're stuck for. If you are, I don't know, we do this every month. We've been talking about street photography and travel photography, but maybe there's a specific situation that you've been stuck with and you haven't quite found the recipe that you would like to work with. Then give us a shout, and we'll definitely incorporate it into one of the upcoming shows. But these are definitely some really solid recipes to try. So, give it a go. And like I always say, if you add those as, comments in the notes section in the app, then, sooner or later, as we work through them, the app will, become a lot more navigate able to for you to navigate through, and to see you know, which recipes you want to use in what situations.
Yep.
All right. Carl's just saying that he finds the +4 highlights really difficult to handle.
Yeah, so that's talking about the vintage Kodachrome recipe. And the trick to that one is underexposure. So the +4 highlights bring the highlights way up, but then you have to take the exposure down so that you don't clip the highlights. So it is tricky to use in that way.
Yes, that is a very good tip.
Oh,
Okay.
and here's
And
another great tip here by Randy. And I like to say to season to taste. Any recipe, you don't have to follow it 100% exactly. There's no recipe police. out there, and so if you do find that, for example, +4 highlight being too much in bright conditions, try +3 or even +2 if you have to, or use DR400 or something like that to modify it slightly to fit the scenario that you're in.
Yes. Yeah. Yeah. Really good idea. Well, great questions. Thank you, guys. Very awesome indeed.
Yep.
But I think let's jump into, the recipe that we've all been shooting with for this last month. Another really cool film look is what I think. Fujicolor Pro 400. Maybe, a special taste. But I definitely enjoyed shooting with it. And Ritchie, you've also been, shooting some more images in that with that recipe.
Yeah, I always use the recipe that we're shooting with. Use it a little bit. I always have lots going on as far as different recipes that I'm working on and making new ones and all that kind of stuff. But I did have the opportunity. We talked earlier about the landscaping that was going on just before the show. This photograph here was actually captured in the yard. A couple weeks ago, I think, using the Fujicolor Pro 400H film simulation recipe.
So I guess this flower is no more now.
Well, they cut it away.
Well, see, this is why it's so important for us to capture photographs, because you never know what happens.
Yeah, you never know when the landscapers come and chop it off.
Yes.
Yep.
But thank you. Well, I don't know what happened to this flower either, but I really enjoyed the contrast between the orange and the green. And really, you can see this recipe really does something magical to the greens. And I think it really comes out in this image.
It's very nice. And so this here was captured during the golden hour with the warm light. And you see that it changes the way that the recipe renders it because the light is different. And so it's got kind of this golden warm color to it, but it's because the light was golden and warm as well.
Yeah, so the white balance will always, adjust depending on what time of day and what quality of light you're shooting with.
Yep.
Yeah, and I thought I'll share this image. This was from a series of images that I took actually for an article where I shot images only with Fujicolor Pro 400. And wanted to use it kind of in a scenario where the actual original film stock was made for like, portrait and commercial photography. And just to, test what it does to skin colors, etc., etc. So I think it performed really nicely. I was very happy with the results that I got from that day.
And that was Fuji Love magazine for those who might want to go looking for that.
Yes, it was. Thank you, Ritchie. Yes.
And here's more greens. I love what this recipe does with greens. So
yes. Yeah. They almost look like the greens that are in the flower pot in the scene. So I think that goes really nicely with it.
Yep.
And then just to round it off, a landscape photograph that, where you have kind of like normal daylight qualities in the image. So it really performs really nicely there as well. Thomas knows Lemma. Yes, it was taken in Lemma. I was there. I guess I posted quite a number of images on my Instagram and I tagged Lemma. So for anyone who has an opportunity to go and visit. I could only recommend it. I absolutely thoroughly loved it. Oh, and Mad Craze has also no longer got a bougainvillea in his yard.
Yeah. Yeah, there's tons in this yard. It's there's a whole wall just all along the wall.
Yeah, they are very, very good for taking photographs. Those flowers always stay like really nice, so they lend themselves for some good macro shots. So yeah, these are our Fujicolor Pro 400 images, and we are not here though to only look at our images. These are just samples so that we can show what quality, what you can expect from the recipe. But you've been shooting with this for the last month. So we're going to have a squiz at some of them. Please do let us know also in the comments what you found, how you enjoyed the recipe, what you liked about it. Maybe there were some things that you struggled with. So please do ask us questions. And we want to jump into have a look at some of the viewers' images. As you know, we always show all the images that you send us in the slideshow right at the beginning and at the end of the show. But there are some that we pick out because we can't look at all of them. There are just too many. And
which is a good problem.
A very good problem to have, indeed. You spoil us with lots of beautiful images. But so what we decide to do is we choose some of them where we think, they're very good examples of certain qualities of the recipes. So by no means is it a crit of any kind. We just simply pick and choose a few that we think there's something that we can point out to everyone who's watching. So shall we jump into having a look at those?
Yeah, so Stephen Wells sent us this one, and it's a simple picture. There's but the way that the blues are rendered, you see the yellow. I think it showcases how the recipe handles those situations pretty well.
Yes, I love the yellow and the blue together in this image. It's very striking. Thank you, Stephen. And similar colors, very different scene, is an image that Matt sent in. Very cool, very retro feel. Obviously, help with the help of the actual logo here. But the yellow and the red and the turquoisey blue, I think they make for a really nice color combo, and this recipe really shines in bringing those to life.
I believe that might be Disneyland or Disney World, one of the two. It's where that may have been taken.
Yes, definitely your side of the world.
Yep.
Yeah, nice. Thank you.
So Nate sent us this picture, and what jumped out to me about it was all the different colors. You get a good sampling of how reds and greens and yellows and blues and everything else are handled by the recipe and what they'll produce. And it's a beautiful image too.
Absolutely, it shouts summer and life, and a really, really beautiful scene, and all these colors all together. It's a really good sample image for what kind of qualities you can get with this recipe. Nice. Oh yeah, Matt was saying this was on a Disney cruise.
Ooh, how fun!
I didn't know.
I bet that was a lot of fun. That sounds fun.
So that's Disney World on a cruise ship. Wow. Okay.
Disney on water.
Wow. Nice. Okay, excellent. All right, here. And then Simon sent us this image. I chose it because I wanted to show how, sometimes colors can become really pastel when you shoot with this image. the image, when you look at it properly, not on a YouTube screen, is not at all blown out, but it has this really nice soft cyan sky and clouds, and all the colors like fade into really light pastel. It may not translate all that way on the screen that you're looking at it, but it really is. So try maybe also, if you're shooting with it, to overexpose it a little bit to get, this really nice soft colors.
Yeah, that's what the film itself was known for, was if you overexposed it, 2, 3, 4 stops, you could get this pastel look. And it's possible to achieve something very similar to that using this recipe by overexposing it.
Yes. So thank you for that submission, Simon.
Then Carl sent us this really interesting picture of I guess rural country. You got this farm field and a sweater, I believe that is what it is, hung up with it looks like a building behind it in the background, and it's kind of fascinating. I would love to have stumbled across something like that in my outings. But it's well designed, and it also again shows the blues and the greens and stuff of that this recipe produces.
Yeah, it's a nice scene captured, and we love our greens.
Yep.
So thank you, Carl. A nice image. Indeed. And then we have an image from Tarston that I believe he shot during his holiday in Italy. And, what is a holiday in Italy if not for some really awesome old-timer cars? And the color of this is just, really awesome against the yellow backdrop. And so really well captured, a nice scene, and, goes to show that it is also a really good recipe that you can use during your holidays. And then we have one more image left, which we think, really, captures the essence of the recipe, and something that, caught our eye, that we want to share with you now. So let's switch back to the images. Unless you have any other comments or questions, let's have a look, see which image this is today. Yay! So Stuart gets a double whammy sound effect for this. Is it an eerie scene or a mysterious scene?
It's very mysterious. You see this path and just how the trees are growing up above it, and you see the branches and stuff. It could be a really interesting mystery that this leads to, or maybe something very eerie. It could go either way. It could be a very good adventure. It could be a very scary adventure. I'm not sure, but that path, the way it's lit, and the greens, and just the mysteriousness of the scene itself is what caught my eye.
Yes, down the rabbit hole.
Yep.
Yeah, it's no matter what lies behind the bend, it is a really cool image. So thank you. Thanks, Stuart, for submitting this.
Yep.
This is really fun, and this rounds up our Fujicolor Pro 400H. How did you all enjoy that? Sometimes we stumble across thank you. Yes, a very nice shot indeed. We stumble across a recipe and we kind of like it, but maybe there's something that we don't really know how to make it work. Thank you for your submission, Carl. Finding odd situations as we are out and about is always good fun.
Yeah.
So that was really cool. I personally really liked the recipe. So thank you, Ritchie. But there is obviously no shortage. So we have a new recipe to introduce, and it's none other than Vintage Agfacolor. And we kind of we soft introduced it last month because we suggested this recipe because we thought it gives really good results when you print your images with Instax prints. But we liked it so much that we thought, oh, let's give it a spin for a whole month and let's see what we can do with it. And it's also a recipe that it's very user friendly, so a lot of you will be able to use it. It's X-Trans 3 and 4 friendly. So
it's intended for X-Trans 3. That's what it was made on. I made it on I got to use an X Pro 2 for a little bit, and I made it on X Pro 2. But you can use it on XT3 and XT30 just simply by ignoring color chrome effect. And if you have a newer X-Trans 4 camera, X Pro 3 or newer, you'll have to also set, in addition to setting color chrome effect to off, you also have to set color chrome effect blue to off, clarity to 0, and then you'll have to decide on grain size, either small or large. I think large looks pretty good on it, but whatever your preference is. But if you do that, then you can use this on the newer cameras. So most of you out there should be able to use this recipe.
Yes, and you don't need to worry. If you didn't write this down, because Ritchie explains really nicely in his blog post. So if you mostly work with the app and you go through the recipes there, don't make the mistake and not read the blog post that's linked to it, because it always gives you background information and the kind of information that he's sharing now. So, how you can adjust it and maybe some other tips and tricks how to work with it. So always go in and read the blog post and, check up on all that good extra free information that's out there. Yeah. And, we've been out there as well and giving the recipe a good spin. And here's something that you came up with, Ritchie. No more mountains.
Yes. No mountains in this one. There is a little bird in the tree, if you can notice that, in the kind of top left corner there, just perched up there. This recipe I really like, just kind of underexposed slightly, and I really like the way it renders the blue skies and things like that. So, and you gotta, what I think you really have to embrace is like a deep darkness in the shadows and stuff. And I think when you do that, this recipe works really good and gives you that, we talked about that film look, kind of thing. I think you can achieve that with this recipe.
Okay, cool. And there was a comment about, which recipe to remove because there's not enough slots in the camera. Yeah. You just need to, go through phases. So, go with what we are discussing, and then, the last one that you haven't used in a while, you drop that off for a little bit. And, just try them out. You can always edit back. Yes. Exactly. So I've also went around and shot quite a bit with it while I was in and around Lemmer and came across this scene, and I used it a fair bit in different scenarios and thought that it is, pretty versatile. It has a different characters, I think. So they are, they're not all, very obviously, oh yeah, this must be vintage Agfacolor. I think depending on what scene you're shooting, you'll get a different quality with the image. But this is one of those situations.
Yeah, so I moved from Utah to Arizona, and if that wasn't any more obvious with this picture, I don't know what would be. But yeah, here we have some saguaros, just a typical Arizona desert scene, and you can see kind of how it has a different look than you might get from maybe some of the other recipes that you've used in the past or currently using, and that kind of stuff. Just it's got a different quality to it that's fairly unique. There's not too many recipes that you say, "Oh, this one's similar." Um,
Yes, so a
yeah,
very
so
different, and also a lot more blue qualities, blue and green qualities in it. A lot of the recipes that we've looked at probably had more of a warmer look to them. So
mhm.
something very different. And I think this is in general, this is more of the kind of quality that you can expect to get from Vintage Agfacolor. So William is asking, is it emphasizing certain colors like Kodachrome 1 did? Yeah, so I
Yeah.
think
So
it... Go
no, go
ahead.
ahead. Oh, I was just gonna say, like the Kodachrome one recipe um, really emphasized kind of the warm colors in it. You could get like a more of a deeper blue in the skies and stuff like that. This one is more you're looking at more like greens and the blues turn like almost a lighter color, like a cyan.
Yeah, so I often find that it overlays almost like a little bit of a bluish tinge across the whole image, which
Hmm.
makes it this vintagey feel. So this is a
Hmm.
perfect example for it, I think. So I hope that helps. And this is, completely different, but I just, wanted to also show that you can get different results with it, depending on, obviously the what you're photographing and also the quality of the light. So, something very, very different here.
And then you see here again the blue of the car and the green, and yeah, you almost get this like almost teal overlay, bluish teal overlay. So it does emphasize those colors more than maybe some of the other recipes do.
Yes. And, different cars, same recipe. So yeah, so definitely give it a try, and you can definitely try it in all sorts of different situations. I know that some people think like, well, if I have a recipe, there's only one certain specific situation that I can shoot it in, but I really don't think so. I think you can really give this a try and see all the different results that you get from it. And I hope that you will use it and that you will have a lot of fun with it and get some wonderful results and results that you want to share with us. So this is the link where you can upload the images. Take a screenshot so that you always have it on you, so that in the spirit of the moment, you've taken an awesome picture, share it with us, upload it. We'd love to see what you create. You have a whole month to try this out, and our deadline for uploads is the 6th of September. So do share with us again. Do try it out. Shoot lots of pictures. And we hope you
Yeah, I'm
will.
really looking forward to seeing what you guys do with it, and try it indoors, try it outdoors, try it on sunny days, on cloudy days. Get really just try it in a lot of different scenarios, and I can't wait to see what you capture.
Yes. Give it a good spin and let us know if you have any questions now, or also if you have any questions, later on, please let us know. Carl says he's used Vintage Agfacolor a bit and it goes well with dark greens.
Mhm.
That's cool. So yes, so
Yeah,
you can look forward to some really nice, juicy, saturated greens. And if there is anything that you struggle with, any input that you need, reach out to us at any point. We're here to help, to make this whole experience easier, faster, more fun, so that you can create lots of awesome images and memories for yourself and your family. Björn says he loves the X-pan ratio. Okay, this is clearly a comment from earlier. He shot an entire project with that ratio on the GFX. And yeah, loves that ratio. Yes, he actually wrote an article also in Fujilove in one of the recent issues about that. Was a really great read. So do treat yourself to that if you haven't yet. It's a really cool, project to try out for yourself as well.
Yeah, and I do wish that the X-pan ratio would come to the X series. That would be nice.
Yes, yeah, it would be. It's growing on me, like I said. It's not been my favorite in recent years or in past years, but we learn. And Dan says he uses film simulations to preview before he shoots real film. Okay, that's interesting.
Well, that's really interesting. That's cool.
Yeah, nice.
Thanks for sharing.
Yes, it would be really cool to see the image that you've taken as a test shot on your Fujifilm camera, and then the image that you get from the real film that you shoot. And then we've got another question. Usman is asking what your favorite lens on the iPhone is. 35, 53 equivalent.
I don't even know what. I have the iPhone 11. I don't even have the latest and greatest. It's a wide angle lens. I know that, but I've used Moments. There's a Moment case that's on there, and I've used their lenses. It's 58 millimeter, but it's not really 58 millimeter. It's just what they call it. I wrote an article about it, but I don't remember the exact focal length off the top of my head. But yeah, it's the iPhone 11 has wide angle and like super wide angle as your options, and so I guess those are the two that I use because that's what I have.
Yes, yeah. Sometimes it's a bit tricky to shoot to get the right focal length with the phone. But I guess it's a matter of trial and error.
Yeah. Torsten asks if the Fuji X Weekly app has that would, I guess, are you asking if it would give you a notification when there's a new recipe, or that it would automatically update the recipe when you open the app? Because the way it's set up is if the app is closed, like you've closed out of it, when you open it up new, it'll refresh the recipes. If the app is open but maybe running in the background or something, you have to go to the gear and hit refresh recipes, and then it'll automatically at that point, put in whatever new recipes there are. I think it would be cool if there was the ability to push a notification to you when a new recipe came out, but I also don't want to. I know apps out there give all sorts of notifications for all sorts of things, and they can get annoying after a while. So I also want to avoid being adding something that's just going to annoy people. So let me know. We have a couple minutes here. Type in what specifically you're asking, which one of those scenarios you're asking for, because I'd love to know.
Yes, do let us know. It's always interesting to hear all the different use cases and the things that maybe we don't think about, no matter whether it's the app or other functions or anything that we talk about during the show, which we've been doing for a very long time. This is another one of those bumper ones. But here we are. We are just about to, spin our lucky wheel. For everyone who's been submitting images over this last month in Fujicolor Pro 400H, automatically gets to enter this draw where we give away a 12-month subscription to the awesome Fuji X Weekly app. So let's head on over to the wheel and let's see who we can make our lucky winner today. Let's spin the wheel and let's find out. And maybe we even have sound effects. Let's see.
Let's see.
Okay. Are we ready?
It's spinning.
It's spinning and... Okay, Björn, congratulations. You are our winner for today. Please do get in touch with us because
even if you have the subscription already, you know, just reach out, please.
We will figure something out and let us know. But congratulations for winning, and thank you so much to everyone for submitting your images. It's always absolutely wonderful to see what you come up with, and we love, you know, that you come back and submit images and, you know, go the extra mile and share with us. Torsten is asking what the X ratio is.
Oh, the X-pan ratio. So Fujifilm and who was the other camera maker? Hasselblad. Yeah. So they teamed up and made a panoramic camera that basically would shoot 2 frames wide of 35 millimeter film. So yeah, right there, 65 by 24 is the aspect ratio. And so you can do that with Ritchie Cam now.
Yes. And it's super wide and it gives you a movie feel. And it's a really interesting ratio to experiment with. Björn would love the notification.
Okay. Yeah. I'm pretty sure that it's not too difficult to make happen. So it's a fine line of being helpful by giving that notification versus annoying people with all sorts of notifications. So I'm glad to get the feedback.
Yes, good feedback. Björn, you're very welcome. Another one for good measure. So thank you so much to everyone. It has been another bumper episode. I hope you find these conversations useful and interesting. And if you're watching this after the fact, please, still send us comments or questions. We keep an eye out on the stream so your questions don't go unnoticed. And even more so, we would love to have you as a guest on the show. If you watched last month's episode, we had David as a live guest who shared a little bit in his journey with shooting Fujifilm recipes. So if you, we ask you to please join us as well. It was a lot of fun to meet with David. And I know there are a lot of you out there who have super awesome stories to share and images to show. So please do reach out and let's get the conversation started. And let's see if we can have an awesome online conversation. It would be absolutely fabulous to have you. And, like we said, we'd love to meet up with you and get to know you.
Yep. And it's a lot less scary than maybe it sounds like. So...
Maybe.
An orange teal recipe. I've actually tried very hard to create an orange teal recipe, and it's just I've not quite gotten it. I've tried, and I will keep trying, but it's not there yet.
Work in progress.
Yep.
Well, fabulous. Ritchie, it's been another awesome episode. It is always absolutely wonderful to hear exactly, from you and to deep dive into recipes and to connect with, all of you out there. We all have, a lot of awesome Agfa colors waiting for us. So do get shooting and let us know. Björn is saying, he will,
absolutely.
he will fly over to see you. Cool idea. That would be fabulous.
I don't think Emirates flies to Phoenix, but anytime you're in the area, we'll work it out.
Yeah, that would be very cool. Very cool indeed. Well, it's been lovely to connect with everyone. It is time to say goodbye. We have crossed the 1.5 hour mark in our main show. And it's time for me to have supper and to go into my evening. And I'm sure Ritchie, it's probably around about lunchtime soon, moving from coffee. And wherever else you are in the world, thank you so much for tuning in. And for spending all this time with us. It is time.
It's been a lot of fun. It's been almost, we're coming up on, it's over 2 hours since the pre-show started, I believe.
Yes.
So it's thank you for taking time out of your day. That means a lot to us. And I hope you found this to be inspirational or helpful in some way. I hope you got something good out of it. And just thank you again for tuning in and being a part of this and just joining with us in the community and everything. And I hope that you guys are a blessing to us, and I hope we're a blessing to you, and that we can all learn from each other and be inspired by each other.
Well said. Indeed, Ritchie. Thank you so much for all these words. I will just second that. And thank you all, and wish you all a good day, a good evening, a very good night. Stay well and healthy, and we will see you all again on the 8th of September. Until then, stay safe, healthy, and happy, and shoot lots of JPEGs straight out of camera.
Yep.
We will see you then. Go well.
Bye, everybody. Bye, Natalie.
Bye, Ritchie. Take care.